Ladies and gentlemen, the World Cup starts tomorrow. In most parts of the world, it starts tonight, but I've still got one more sleep. Today I thought I might do a very, very last minute World Cup prediction. I did one a while ago, but this one's going to be a little bit different. You probably haven't seen any from me. Go away. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll get straight in. We'll start off with Group A. Mexico, South Korea, Czechia, and South Africa. I think Mexico are going to top the group. I think the home advantage for the entire group stage. Bro, what is this? Go away. This shit pops up every time. Um, yeah, I think having home field advantage the whole way will definitely benefit them. They play at different altitudes to most countries in the world, so they might struggle, especially against Mexico, who are used to it. So I definitely think they will top that group. Now, second in the group is difficult. I'm going to edge it to South Korea, but I would not be surprised if these three teams completely flip orders to what I predict. It's very difficult to split these teams. I don't think South Korea are quite the team that they used to be. Obviously, Son's not in his prime. I'm not the biggest fan of their squad at the moment, so I could potentially see them slipping, but I will give them second spot. And then I'm very, very sorry, South Africa. I'd love to see South Africa do well, but I'm going to go with Czechia in third, and then South Africa bottom. So they're going home. Czechia still have a chance to stay, but obviously that will be determined after all the groups. Then we've got Group B. People are calling this the group of life because it's a pretty poor group overall. There isn't one standout team in this group. But I'm going to go with Switzerland. I know I talked about the home field advantage, but it can only do so much. Switzerland did pretty well in the Euros in 2024. They were unlucky to go out to England on penalties. Banger from Bukayo Saka. Then I'll go Canada second, obviously. I definitely think they're better than Qatar and Bosnia. And I'll go Bosnia in third. I think this one's relatively straightforward. Maybe you'd want to put Canada above Switzerland because they'll be at home. But yeah, I think Switzerland are just a better side than them. I think Switzerland will probably beat them. And I back Switzerland to win the other two games more easily than Canada. All right, and then Group C, we've got Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti. Now, my first sort of big call for this group, the other ones have pretty much been in the order of the pots. I just swapped Bosnia and Qatar, which, let's be real, we all know Qatar are going to go straight home. They'll struggle to score a goal. I'm actually going to go Morocco to top this group. I'm not very high on this Brazil team. I think that all the drama with Neymar and his selection and how people are reacting to that is going to add a bit of unwanted pressure. They've already got heaps of pressure because, they've only won one trophy in, 19 years? Haven't won a World Cup in over 20 years. So there's already a lot of pressure on such a big footballing nation to do well. And I think the whole Neymar thing will just, it'll add pressure that isn't needed. And alongside that, Brazil haven't been very good in recent tournaments. They had a very underwhelming qualification campaign. I think they only finished fifth in the South American qualification table. Which, look, they were still easily able to qualify, but they weren't performing very well. I know that was ages ago. They qualified a while ago, and they've looked decent in the friendlies, but I just don't know about the dynamic of that team. I've talked about it quite a lot on other platforms, but yeah, I'm going to go Morocco to top the group, Brazil to finish second, and then I'll definitely back Scotland to finish above Haiti. When they play each other, that will be a massive game because I'm not really expecting Scotland or Haiti to take points off Morocco and Brazil. I think that head-to-head matchup between them will be a big decider, and I think the Hakimi matchup on Vinny will basically just decide the group. I'll be honest, and with Vinny's performances for Brazil, I don't know if I'd back him necessarily. Group D, this, in my opinion, is the most interesting group. Now, you could call me biased. You might pick, say, Group F or potentially Group I as more interesting, but I think these teams are so difficult to separate. I mean, Australia, Turkey, and USA are only separated by, I think, 10 places on the FIFA rankings, which is pretty close. But Paraguay are a good outfit as well. So this genuinely, like, I could see this group going in any order, I'll be real. Even Paraguay, people might not be very high on Paraguay. They're still a decent team. I am going to pick Turkey to top it. This is the one I'm most comfortable with. Out of any team to finish in any position, I'm most comfortable to say Turkey will top the group. They had an excellent Euros campaign in 2024. Obviously, Arda Güler announced himself to the world. I think he's going to have an excellent World Cup, and I think Yildiz is the guy that is going to really earn a big move in this World Cup. He's already a top player, and people already rate him. But yeah, I'm expecting big things from Kenan Yildiz, and I think Turkey are going to top this group. Now, second, again, call me biased, but I'm going with the Aussies. Everyone always writes us off. I remember in 2022 watching everyone predict us to finish bottom of that group, not even third. They said Tunisia would finish above us. We ended up going through. We beat Denmark, we beat Tunisia, and I'm telling you, we're going to surprise some people in this World Cup. We are. We're going to surprise some people. You've got idiots like Landon Donovan saying that this is going to be that Australia is an easy game. Everyone calls us. I saw Rory Jennings say that he watched us against Argentina and we were the worst team he's ever seen. We almost took them to extra time. Like, what do you want about, mate? But no, look, maybe we don't finish second. Maybe I'm wrong about that. As I said, this is a difficult group. You know, if a team like Brazil or England were in this group, they'd probably, do well. But these teams are all very closely matched, and I back us, man. I know I was talking about the host nation doing well before, but I back us to come out of this group, to make the knockout stages, and for some of our young talent, like Mohamed Toure, Jordan Boss, Nestor Irankunda, I'm expecting those players to announce themselves. I'm expecting people to know who those players are after this World Cup. Then I'll go USA in third, just because they do have some quality, and then Paraguay, unfortunately, in fourth. But then again, I could see them making a bit of noise, being a difficult side for any of these teams to beat. It's going to be a tight group. I don't think Turkey are going to win all the games. I don't think Paraguay are going to lose all the games. I think it'll be very, very close. I've got to speed this up because we're already 8 minutes in almost, and I've done 4 groups. Group E. See, this one's actually difficult because I rate Ecuador and Ivory Coast. I think both teams can cause some problems. It wasn't that long ago when Ivory Coast had that miraculous win in the AFCON where they sacked their manager mid-tournament and won it. And then Ecuador, I just think they're going to be so difficult to score against. You got Pacho and Hincapié with Caicedo in front of them. That is a crazy spine. So I could actually see Germany. I could see them going out in the group. I actually could, but I'm just gonna say they top it. I'm just gonna do it. I just think Ecuador struggle to score goals, and then Ivory Coast, they're not really like a complete team. They've got some quality here and there, but they're not like an excellent team. Again, those 3, I could see them going in any order, but I'm gonna go Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, and then unfortunately Curacao. They're just not at the level, are they? Group F. This is another big call that I've got. I think Japan are going to top the group, and then I think Sweden are going to finish second, which leaves the Dutch without automatic qualification. Obviously, they can still go through, and I'm looking at these third-place teams, I'm probably going to pick them to go through. But I just think Japan are such a solid team. They had an incredible World Cup campaign in 2022. They're probably the best team in Asia, I think. They'll be favourites to win the Asia Cup next year. And I think that they could go on a proper run in this World Cup. I think they can. They've got some quality in this team. They do. Obviously, no Matoma is going to be a loss. But for Club, he hasn't really been playing well as of late. So I think they're going to top this group. And Sweden, look, maybe Sweden will finish below Netherlands. I wanted to make a big statement. And I think this Dutch attack is poor. Gakpo plays well for them, but his club form's been very poor. No Xavi Simons. And then even in their defence, no Jurrien Timber. Their defence is excellent anyway. Like, they won't concede many goals. But I just think this Sweden attack, if they can get the dynamics of Gyökeres and Isak to work together, everyone talks shit about Gyökeres. I think he is built for to have a good World Cup. Gyökeres is one of those guys that I could just see having an excellent World Cup. Maybe he won't score against the Netherlands, but against the other teams, I could see him getting a few goals. Group G, I think Group G is pretty straightforward. Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. You know, people have been talking about, obviously, all the political stuff going on with Iran. Maybe that affects them. I could maybe see New Zealand finishing above them. And then Belgium, again, I'm not that high on Belgium, but they've probably got the easiest group out of all the pot 1 teams. Like, I'm looking at the rest of these groups. I don't think any other pot 1 team got an easier group. I really don't. I don't. So yeah, I think this one's pretty straightforward. Group H, again, I just think it's going to be in the order of the pots. I think Spain are clearly better than everyone else. Uruguay have a lot of quality in that team, and then Cape Verde just can't really compete. Again, not much to say about Group H. Pretty straightforward. Group I, this is the group of death. There are 3 excellent teams in this group. I think if you took the 3 best teams from every group, this is easily the best. Easily. They're so good. Obviously, everyone's said enough about France. Ridiculous attack. Like, they're insane. They've got... Imagine if you're... I'll use Jordan Boss. Imagine if you're Jordan Boss. You've just fought for your life against Desiree Doué, and then in the 70th minute, fucking Michael Olise warms up. Like, are you fucking serious? The only thing is their defense in the fullback areas not great. Like, I think if they were to play a team like Spain, I just think Lamine Yamal, they wouldn't be able to handle him. And if you've got 2 world-class wingers, one on each side, then good luck. But I don't really see Senegal and Norway having massive threats out wide. And then their midfield, I think France's midfield is a little bit weak, especially with Noah Camavinga. I cannot believe he didn't go. But you've still got, Tchouameni. You've got Kante, who always plays well for France. Yeah, France is definitely going to top this group, in my opinion. And then it's between Senegal and Norway. People are going Norway because they're the European nation. They've got a Premier League winning captain. They've got Haaland, who's the best striker in the world. But I'm going Senegal. Senegal, along with Turkey, are my 2 main, big dark horses for this World Cup. I think Senegal are going to go on a run, and you're going to see what I predict for Senegal in the knockouts. So, yeah, I think Senegal are a quality team. Obviously, were deserved winners of the AFCON, got absolutely shafted in that. They literally won the game. And then Norway, obviously, in third. Again, great team. And Iraq, I feel sorry for Iraq, man. That's like the worst case scenario. Group J, another one that I think is pretty straightforward. Argentina top the group. Austria and Algeria, maybe. I just think Austria are a better overall team than Algeria. Then Algeria aren't really the same team that they were a few years ago. So we'll go Austria, Algeria, and then Jordan once again. Some of these top 4 teams are just a level below. I've talked a lot on other platforms about my thoughts on this new World Cup format. There's a reason that pretty much every group has a team that's like the consensus 4th pick. Like, it's sad. It's on. I feel sorry for those teams because a lot of people have said this, and again, I'm happy for them that they're in the World Cup, but are you good enough? I know that that's a pretty elitist point of view, but I want to see better football in this World Cup. So there's already enough storylines as it is. You didn't need to add more teams. That's just my opinion. Group K, I think Group K is pretty easy. I think Portugal, Colombia, and then maybe Congo could make a bit of noise, but I'm going to go Uzbekistan. I think, they've just got a bit more than Congo do, I think. Wouldn't be surprised if they swap though, although Portugal and Colombia are consensus 1 and 2 picks, obviously. England, I will pick to top the group. And then it's between Croatia and Ghana to finish second. Kudus is injured for Ghana, and I think without the threat on both wings, you just got to do a job on one of them. You just got to lock up Semenyo, and then you've really nullified Ghana. So I'm going to pick Croatia second, and then I'm just going to go Ghana. I think Croatia, whilst they're obviously not the same team that they were, they're still an excellent team. Now I'll pick the third place teams. Those were not my third team. Who had England third? I'm going to do it in the order that I think they'll be. So I'll go, like, in terms of quality, not in terms of points, because you can't really predict that. I'll go Norway, Netherlands, Ivory Coast. It doesn't really matter which order. I'll go USA. I'll go Scotland. I'll go Czechia. And then what do we need? 2 more. I'll go Saudi Arabia. And I'll go Ghana. So sorry to Bosnia, Uzbekistan, Algeria, and Iran. You're going home with all the 4th place teams. Alright, pick knockouts. Okay, so we have Germany versus Scotland in Boston Stadium to start the round of 32. Obviously, we saw that in the opening game of the Euros, where Scotland got absolutely touched. And I think that'll happen again. Sorry, Scotland, but you're just not a better team than Germany. France will absolutely destroy the US. Like, it'll be men against boys. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go Canada. Although the game's in LA. If the game was in Canada... Wait, if they had topped the group, would they have gotten home advantage? Where's Switzerland? Yeah, see, if they top the group... So if you top the group, then you get home field advantage all the way until the quarters. Damn, so Canada are really going to have to try to top that group. Because if they do, maybe they could make a bit of noise. I'm still going to back Canada. I said I wasn't that high on South Korea. Give me Canada, man. And then at Monterrey Stadium, so even this game's in Canada... Again, people will hate me because there are so many Brazil Glazers. But give me Japan. I think that they're a better, more well-rounded team than Brazil. I think they're gonna... Because what, didn't they lose to Brazil in 2022? Isn't that when their run ended? Because they got knocked out... Or they topped their insane group. And then I'm pretty sure they lost to Brazil. Oh no, they lost to Croatia, that's right. It was South Korea that lost to Brazil. My bad. Yeah, no, that's right. They lost to Croatia. So no, they'll beat Brazil. I think they'll beat Brazil. Then Colombia versus Croatia. I'm sorry, Modric. I love you, mate. But Colombia, I just think that they're a really good team. I think they finished, was it second in the South American qualifiers? Second or third? They did excellent, and they're just a good team, bro. They're a really good team. Shout out, Cucho Hernandez. Is he Colombian? I think he is. Spain will fucking destroy Austria. What a horrible matchup. Turkey against the Dutch. I'm going to pick Turkey. I called them dark horses. In San Francisco, Turkey are going to beat the Dutch. They're going to knock them out. They're going to send them home. And the Netherlands, along with Brazil, are probably my 2 flops of the tournament. I'd probably edge at Netherlands because they didn't even finish second in the group. But yeah, shout out Turkey, man. They're knocking them out. Then we've got Belgium versus Czechia. I'm going to just back Belgium. But again, I don't rate Belgium this year. I really don't rate Belgium. I'm not a fan. I don't think they're very good. A lot of the players that were from that golden generation, they've fallen off significantly. Morocco versus Sweden. I like Sweden, but I think Morocco are just like, Ecuador, I love you, but you're losing. And look at that! Oh my god! Morocco versus... Please. Morocco, you need to top your group. Senegal, you need to finish second. What is that? Mental. I like Ecuador. I just think Senegal they'll find a way to score, and then I just don't see them conceding. Alright, Mexico against Saudi Arabia. in Mexico City. Mexico, and see, look, they've got home field up until the quarterfinals. That's huge. And then we've got England versus Norway. Give me England. I worry for their centre-backs against Haaland. But I just think they've got a bit too much quality. They'll get it done. And then Argentina versus Uruguay in Miami. I think Argentina will win that. And then Australia versus Egypt in Dallas. Come on. Jordan Boss is going to absolutely pocket Salah. He's going to pocket him. He's going to absolutely cook him. Switzerland against Ivory Coast in Vancouver. Ooh, that's actually hard. I'm struggling with this one. Again, Ivory Coast and Ecuador were similar. Like I said, I liked them, but I'm having them going out in the round of 32. Damn, that's sad. But Granit Xhaka, he's too good. And then Portugal and Ghana, obviously Portugal. All right, we'll get to the round of 16. Germany against France. Give me France. Germany, they're not moving me. I could see them losing to Scotland. Maybe not. Canada, Japan. This is where Canada's run ends in Houston. Again, they're not an amazing team. Like they're a good team, but Japan they're just better. You might think that Japan glaze a bit much having them in the quarters, but I like Japan. Colombia against Spain. Again, similar to I spoiled that. I like Colombia. They're a very good team. But Spain are the best team in the world. And they're going to win. Then Turkey and Belgium. This is, I think, my first sort of big upset of the round of 16. Yeah, it's my first upset. I'm going Turkey. I think they're going to beat Belgium. I think they're going to knock Belgium out. They're going to send them home to continue what has been an incredible run from Turkey. Quarterfinals when they could only get into the World Cup through the playoffs. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then we've got the... Oh, bro. I need this to happen. Please. Please, football gods, let this happen. Because, where did Brazil... Brazil were there. So, hang on. They would... See, if Morocco don't top the group, this matchup probably can't happen. Because, Norway finished there. This matchup probably can't even happen until the final. So, this is like the only way that it happens. I need it to happen. Senegal get their revenge. They literally beat Morocco in the last game. Weren't given the trophy. A round of 16 game in the World Cup isn't, it's not an AFCON trophy, but it's still incredible. And then we've got Mexico versus England. I think England are going to, struggle in this game. Again, in Mexico, at the high altitude. I think they're going to struggle. But they'll, scam a win. It'll be like a Kane penalty in extra time, or an own goal, or the scrappiest shit you'll ever see, or a keeper mistake. It'll be the most fugazi win ever. Ever. But they'll win. Revenge, bro. Revenge. We'll win. Nah, we'll lose. We'll lose. We'll give it a good go like we did last time, but unfortunately we're going to lose to Argentina. That is where our run ends. The same place it did in the last World Cup. And you know what? If we finished second in the group, beat USA, got to the round of 16 and lost to Argentina, I'd take it. It wouldn't be a disaster. I'd absolutely take it. That would be a great World Cup. I think because there are more teams, it's actually more impressive than the last one, because at least we would have won a knockout game. All right, and then Switzerland versus Portugal, rematch of 2022 when Ramos scored the hat-trick. I just think Portugal are going to win again. They're just a better team than Switzerland. Oh my word. Fuck. Bro, this World Cup has some crazy storylines. Look at these quarterfinals. They're so cool. Not really. France versus Japan. Again, love you, Japan, but France will win. And then we've got Spain versus Turkey. And this is where the Cinderella run ends. My one of my biggest dark horses. My two big dark... I didn't lie. When I said they're my two biggest dark horses, I didn't lie because they're both in the quarterfinals. But Turkey's run will end. The best team in the world will beat them in Los Angeles and send Turkey home, but they can't be upset with that. Getting to a quarter... When you're in the playoffs, getting to the quarterfinals and losing to the reigning Euros champions. Spain beat them in the Euros, didn't they? Or didn't... Oh no, Spain had like a hard run. Who beat them in the Euros? I think they got to the quarterfinals of the Euros as well, didn't they? Or am I an idiot? They lost to Netherlands. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah. I remember watching that game. Just couldn't remember before. And then we've got Senegal. Wait, is that actually? Yeah. We've got Senegal versus England. Remember what I said about Senegal being dark horses? Going on a run. Another shock England exit as they lose in Miami to the should-be African champions. Literally, I'm so dumb. Senegal are going to the World Cup semi-final. They're the second African team ever to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup. Morocco did it last year, or last World Cup, I should say. And Senegal have done it now. And then, oh, bro, Argentina versus Portugal. Look, Portugal, I haven't really talked much about them because they've had a pretty easy run to the quarters so far. I like Portugal. A lot of people have a lot of stocks in Portugal because of that midfield. You know, they've got Bruno Fernandes, who's had an incredible season in the Premier League. I'm not the biggest fan of Bruno Fernandes, but you got to give him his flowers. He had an unreal season. You've got the pivot that has just won back-to-back Champions Leagues in Neves and Vitinha. And then along with Nuno Mendes at left back, and then I guess you could say Costa in goal. That's it. Like, that's really it. Ruben Diaz is not the player he used to be. He's going to be next to Inacio, who's okay. Who do they even have at right back? I don't even know. Cancelo still? Ugh. And then their attack stinks. Like, their attack genuinely stinks. Leao, I'm not a fan. Neto on the other wing. And then Ronaldo. Honestly, I hate to be that guy because I'm not the biggest Ronaldo hater ever. I'm a Messi fan, but I'm not the biggest Ronaldo hater ever. But I genuinely think that Messi versus Ronaldo matchup will decide this tie. I think if Ronaldo is on the bench for Portugal, if he doesn't have as key a role in this team as he used to, I could see Portugal going on a run because I think with the lack of quality in that attack, I think they'll all play for the team and I just think they'll be able to do enough to maybe get to the semis or even the final. But I think if Ronaldo is being relied upon to score goals, did you see him in the last two friendlies? Like, I don't like to go off friendlies, but he just does not look at the level, and it's not even that. You can be a level below and play to the team. I'm watching him back to goal, swivel around and take pot shots. Like, bro, you need to pass. You're not that guy anymore. You know, there was the one from the corner where everyone was positioning themselves where Ronaldo can have a run at the ball and he just completely scuffs the header. Like, he thinks he's better than he is, and I feel sorry for him because, Ronaldo is one of the greatest players ever. But I honestly think Messi will outplay Ronaldo in this game and Argentina will win. Because I don't see Portugal... I don't see Martinez dropping him. I don't see him getting dropped for this Portugal side. I think that because of the name, they'll keep him in the team and it will be their Achilles heel. I think they'll go out to Argentina. I think that the rest of the team, they're probably a bit better. You know, maybe Argentina have a better... Or not even... You can't even say they have a better defence. Portugal's midfield is clear. And then their defence are very close in levels. So yeah, and then Argentina... Again, I don't rate the Argentina attack outside of Alvarez. So you could say that the level's pretty much the same, but I genuinely think the Messi-Ronaldo matchup will decide this tie. It will decide the tie. If Ramos is up front and, Portugal could maybe limit Messi, they'll win. Like, they'll win. But, yeah, I feel sorry for Ronaldo, man. Alright, we get to this semi-final, which a lot of people are saying is basically the final. It's like a travesty that if these teams top the group, they'll meet in the semis. This is a difficult matchup because I understand the reasoning to both sides. You know, for France, their attack is insane, and the Spanish defense isn't that good. I mean, if you look at the matchups, right, you'll have. I'm assuming Mbappe will be on the left for France, because that's normally where he plays for them. If not him, then Doué. So it'll be Mbappe or Doué against Pedro Porro. Again, Pedro Porro is a decent player, but come on, man. Like, he'll win. Like, he's gonna score. He's gonna win that matchup. And then Cucurella, who's a good left back, he's gonna be on either Doué, Elise, or Dembele, depending on what their system is. Like, bro, that's food. Like, bro, what? Cucurella's gonna get cooked. Again, he's a good player, but like, no. And then the centre backs. I mean, who have they got? What, Kubasi and Lenormand? Is that who's playing for them? Nah, not for me. Like that's poor. But I look at the rest of the team. I think if Nico Williams has a good tournament, you could say the same thing about Spain's Spain's attack. You know, France's defense of Teo and Koundé, it's good on paper, but 1v1, are they going to stop an informed Williams and the best player in the world in Lamine Yamal? They're not. So I think that it's going to be a fun matchup. So they cancel each other out. I know that the French centre-backs are very good, but Spain don't really play with like an out-and-out striker. They play with Oyarzabal or Marino, but it's very like link-up heavy. You know, you're not expecting him to like bully that defense and score goals. It's all got to do with the intricate passages of play where he links up with the midfield. So like, I just don't think that France's world-class defense. I don't really see how they're going to be able to stop Spain at what Spain do. The whole point of that is the midfield. And whilst France have a decent midfield, I just don't know if they're going to be able to outball Spain. Maybe if they sit in a little block and then hit them on the counter, they could get a win. They could get a smash and grab. But I think that Spain will have too much. It'll be an elite game. This will be game of the tournament. It'll be the two best teams in the world, in my opinion, going at it. But I think Spain are going to do it, and I think they're going to go to the final, which they would be favourites to win no matter who they play. And then Senegal against Argentina. Again, not the most entertaining final. You know, people would have rather it be England or Portugal. Like, people would have much rather see that. Oh, Ronaldo versus England. It's PSG's midfield and Bruno against England. But it's not all about that. It's not all about that, man. And I'm still going to have fun watching this game. And unfortunately for Senegal, you've had an incredible run, beating England, beating Morocco, finishing above Norway in the group, but you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And then every Barcelona fan's dream, I'm talking all Spanish Barcelona fans, although Lamine Yamal, so any Barca fan will still want Spain to win. So it's either Messi or Yamal. Who would you want to win? It's going to be Lamine Yamal. Spain are going to win the World Cup. Wow, what a crazy prediction. I picked the favourites to win it. Oh, come on, you can't say I've been boring. I had England going out to Senegal. I had Brazil and Netherlands both going out in the round of 32 to Japan and Turkey, respectively. Even if you look at the group stage, I had Sweden finishing above Netherlands. I had Brazil finishing below Morocco. Like, I had some spicy picks. So, look, my winner was boring. But I still predicted some mad shit. Thank you guys for watching my World Cup predictions. You can come back to this video after the tournament, tell me how dumb I am, how I'm an absolute idiot, how I got everything wrong. I'm trying to think back to my 2022 ones. I remember it was hot and cold. Like, I had Argentina to win, and they did, which I was proud of. But I think a lot of people had Argentina to win. I remember I had France doing horribly. I don't think I predicted them to get grouped. I know I didn't have them top in the group because everyone was high on Denmark. I actually think I had them groups because I remember I thought we were going to get out of that group. So I would have had them. Oh my god, I had France grouped and then they made the final. Oh no, you know why it would have been? Because that was the World Cup winner's curse. Because, like, Spain got grouped in 2014, Germany got grouped in 2018, Italy got grouped in 2010 and then didn't make the World Cup after that. So there was, like, the whole curse where, like, the World Cup winners always crash and burn at the next World Cup. And I thought it was going to happen again, but it didn't. I couldn't tell you what else I predicted to happen, though. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, I'll go ahead and save that. You chose Spain as your champions. Watch history unfold and secure your tickets to experience the action. Yeah, mate, I'm not spending $1 million to go to these games. No way. It's not $1 million, but you know what I mean. But yeah, as I was saying before, thank you guys for watching. Come back, tell me how right I am, tell me how wrong I am. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this World Cup. I'm so excited. So excited.